The first thing I remember is the sound, wood splitting, metal groaning. The roof was folding in on itself, the fire breathing harder with each second. "Let's go!" Mike's voice cut through the smoke. I moved to follow, but a beam came down, smashing my legs into the floor. Pain shot white through my skull. "Mike, help me!" my voice cracked. He stopped in the doorway, looked back at me, then at the flames. His eyes weren't afraid, they were resolved. "I'm sorry, man," he said, almost gently. "Your wife wants you dead." And then he ran. I screamed his name until the smoke swallowed the sound. The ceiling gave way. Everything went black. I woke in a hospital bed days later, my legs wrapped in bandages, my lungs burning from the inside. The doctors said it was a miracle I survived. They didn't know the fire hadn't been my only battle that night. Mike's words festered in my skull. "Your wife wants you dead." It sounded insane, and yet, I replayed the days before the fire. Her distracted glances, her phone always face down, the text she hid when I walked into the room. I'd brushed it off as stress, marriage fatigue. But now, with those words echoing, every moment sharpened into a blade. She visited the hospital once, flowers in hand, smile perfectly practiced. She kissed my forehead. Her eyes never met mine. I tested her, asked how she'd found out about the fire. She hesitated, too long. Said Mike had called her. Why Mike? That night, alone, I thought about the way he'd looked at me in the doorway, like he'd already made his choice long before the beam fell. The idea was poisonous, which meant I had to let it run through me, see where it led. When I was discharged, I didn't go home. Told her I needed space to recover at my brother's place. She didn't argue. That was its own answer. I started small, checked Mike's social media, locked down since the fire. But his profile picture had changed. A beach shot, 2 glasses of wine in the frame. I called a buddy in the department, asked offhand who'd covered Mike's shifts lately. He laughed, said Mike had been traveling with friends. I knew which friend. Her. Still, I needed proof, real proof. I paid for a private investigator. Just a few weeks of tailing, I said. Photos, phone records if possible. The days crawled. I healed physically, but inside, the tension was building like a slow flood. When the report came in, I opened it with the detachment of a man reading an obituary. Dinner together, leaving hotels in different cities, her arm in his. But the last page was worse. A bank transfer. From her account to his. 2 weeks before the fire. Amount $25,000. Memo for handling it. Handling me. I didn't tell her I knew. I invited her to meet for dinner. Chose a quiet place. No escape routes she could take without passing me. She came dressed in black. Said it made her look slimmer. I wondered if she'd worn the same color at my funeral. Halfway through the meal, I slid the PI's folder across the table. Said nothing. She opened it. The smile cracked first. Then the color drained from her cheeks. "This isn't what you think," she whispered. I didn't blink. "You paid him to leave me in there," I said quietly. Her mouth opened, then closed. She tried to speak, but the words got tangled in her throat. I watched her drown in them. I leaned forward, calm, even. "I want you to understand something," I said. "This isn't me confronting you. This is me telling you I've already decided what happens next." She flinched. "What are you going to do?" "Nothing." Her eyes darted, confused. "Not to you," I clarified. "But I sent copies of this to Mike's wife, to Internal Affairs, to the insurance company, and to your mother. They'll all know by morning." The blood drained from her completely. "You'll keep your life," I said, "but every door you try to open after this will slam in your face. No one will hire you. No one will trust you. You'll live in the shadow of what you did every single day. I stood, left her sitting there with the folder between us. She didn't follow. The night air was cold, clean. I walked without destination. My legs still ached, but the pain felt distant, manageable. People think revenge is about making the other person suffer. It's not. It's about reclaiming the ground they tried to bury you under. I didn't need to see her ruin. I only needed to know it had begun. I'd been left to burn once. Now it was her turn. Only slower, quieter, and I wouldn't even smell the smoke.